Out of the ugly, muddy floodwaters that blanketed our area rose incredible stories of courage, tenacity, and community. But this is one of the most jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring I've seen. 4 years ago, the Church of Addis had 50 members. Today, 600. It's also suddenly grown into a crucial part of our flood relief and recovery. Pastor Tom Shepard knows how important that is. His Slidell home was swallowed in Katrina floodwaters.
I started hyperventilating about Katrina.
PTSD.
Is the water going to get here? I've been through this before. And you start thinking, well, what are we going to be able to do? And it just became all of a sudden something that we're willing to do.
The willingness of its congregation, its dry West Baton Rouge location, and faith set big wheels in motion. Monday, August 15th, Teresa Chatelaine and other church volunteers were ready for the unknown.
He didn't know what the donations were going to be like. He didn't know what the need was going to be like. He didn't know who could even come to Addis.
Pastor Tom never called any churches or organizations for donations. He posted a video on social media.
We want to see you try to make an impact on these people.
And 2 hours later, 18 wheelers were rolling in, along with flood victims.
To the tune of 300 or 400 people a day, they were coming through, little kids, wet, no shoes, right out of the water. And they needed clothes, they needed shoes. We got them the clothes, we got them the shoes, we got them dressed, we got them some food, those emergency things. So we started as a one-stop to come and get your supplies. And then we started supplying 5 shelters.
Up to 20 tons of supplies were arriving daily. Soon they were serving 12 shelters, then 30, with supplies and hot meals. No one rejected their generosity except the Red Cross.
Even though I'm watching the Red Cross throw away perfectly good food into dumpsters because we were not contracted by them. So we would walk into a shelter and say, soup's on, and they would just come running outside into the parking lot. We would just feed them out there.
In addition to 30 shelters, soon they supplied entire cities.
To like Baker and Clinton and New Roads and those areas that were outlining areas that were not getting any resources, we started supplying them.
They even went into 3 Denham Springs neighborhoods no one else would.
They were rough neighborhoods, and we found out about it. We went in there. We said, man, we need to get these guys. They haven't had cold water in a month. So we wanted to get coolers together with ice in them and cold water and get them to these little kids and stuff like that and get them to those people. And we just drove into those areas, fed those people, got them food, got them clothes, got them all those things because they just wouldn't go there. And one of those areas, one of my friends, their truck, they came out and they had guns. They wanted the food off there because they hadn't eaten or had any water in 2 weeks because nobody was going to go there. And once we said, hey, we're coming back, we're going to bring another truck. You don't have to pull us over. We're going to give it to you. They were like, for real? And I'm like, absolutely. And they're like, okay.
Not even guns stopped the flood of kindness for his church or the thousands of other ones here and across the country who served up supplies, manpower, and humanity.
There were really only 2 people out there the whole time, the wet and the dry. I think it helped bring Baton Rouge together too.
And what we saw in this storm was people reacting to the best interest of each other. I think that's where healing happens. What we do going forward will determine what we do and what echoes in eternity.
For flood victims, Teresa knows now feels like an eternity. Her New Orleans home sat in 8 feet of water for 3 weeks after Katrina.
It was very unsettling, so I do understand that. But, I keep saying hope. I just think that, you just got to trust. And you don't know what the plan is. But, if you just keep, you just keep going, one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time. It's behind you. And I never looked back. We're still here, my whole family, we made it. And that's, that's what will happen with these people. We all have those ups and downs. We all have stuff that happens to us. But we can't let that define us.
What defines this is simply love thy neighbor. This week, thanks to a $50,000 donation from Rooms to Go, they gave away furniture to first responders and others who flooded.
It makes us feel great as a company. It's nice to see that we can do something for other people.
It takes a lot off our mind, a lot of our burden, spending more money that we don't have. So it means a lot.
I think it's a very kind thing what the church is doing and what Rooms to Go is doing. I think it's very kind.
It's the kind of thing that rebuilds faith, hope, and love.
Doesn't matter what side of that train tracks you're on, what color you are, what social status you have. When you strip everything down to your basic needs, I think real humanity bubbles to the top, and you're able to help each other genuinely, and I think that's super important.
If you would like to know even more about this story, go to my website, weekendswithwhitney.net, and click on the Extra tab at the top of the page.